sir. We live. We live here. Week 2, man. Finally got a first dub, man. Feels good. This feels good. With the mic up, everything sound good. Everything should be good. Great win. Yep, man. Seeing that name, man, makes me wish we had Julian Edelman seeing that name. But yeah, Dorsett played well, which I'm gonna get into. I'm gonna get into all of that, the stats and everything. I kind of want to see Gronkowski's snap count. I want to see the snap counts for this game. But how's everybody doing? Again, just real quick, first win. We played against the Saints, and I know people are going to say it's just the Saints. We was expected to win. But we expected to win last week, but it just, feels good to get that first victory for the season. Yeah, it feels good to get the first one on the season, especially how convincing it was. First off, I'd like to say we finally finished. Last week, that was the problem. We didn't finish the game. Gave up 21 straight points in the fourth quarter, didn't score any points. And this game, we decided to finish well, finish strong. Kind of upset that Brandon Cooks didn't get his touchdown, man, because if you remember, I think it was the third quarter, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was the third quarter. No, actually, it was the third quarter. Let me look at it real quick. It was because Gillisley got the touchdown. Second quarter, yeah. Second quarter, Brady got hit because Solder let a pressure. He got hit, was about to get hit, and threw it short. Brandon Cooks had this guy beat. There was no safety with a top help. It would have been an easy, 20-yard touchdown, but Cooks caught it at the 1-yard line, and Gillisley ran it in a couple plays later. But I really wanted Cooks to get that. Yeah, man, let's talk about Gronkowski now. So Gronk, if you guys don't know, if you guys, who see this after whatever, first off, if you guys don't know, I'm your boy DGP, great Patriot, man. Number one spot for Patriot news and also NFL news. So if you don't like the Patriots, I got weekly updates for you guys for other teams. But in this stream, we're going to talk about the Patriots and how they beat the Saints 36-20. So did I have the right title? Okay, cool. Yeah, so Gronkowski got hurt in about the third, fourth quarter area around there. Today he had 6 receptions, 116 yards, and a touchdown, including a 53-yard touchdown from Gronkowski. He looked like the old Gronk, man. Third down, he was mostly on the third down where he got his catches. He looked pretty good. They was playing man-to-man defense, which is what the Chiefs played last week. And this time, Kenny Vaccaro isn't Eric Berry, so it's not going to work. Also, last week, Gronk did look gimpy, did look rusty last week, but this week he looked pretty good until he went down with that groin injury. Caught the pass for about, I think, 15 yards, and he just was slow to get up. Now, when I first saw this, you watching the Cowboys-Broncos game? Yeah, I'm going to watch that after I finish with the stream. But when he got hurt, I immediately was like, it's the back. Please don't y'all can see my Twitter, man. I was low-key panicking. That it hopefully wasn't the back injury. They said it, and then, I saw him. They said he went to the tent. Typically, if you go to the tent, that's the equivalent of going to the locker room, man. So I was kind of freaking out a little bit because also during that time, Hogan was gimpy for the second half. So we was hurting Hogan, and then Gronkowski goes down. So I'm like, we got only 2 healthy receivers in Brandon Cooks and Philip Dorsett, and both of them hasn't been for the team for more than a couple months, for more than some months. They weren't there last year. So he came out the tent hoping it wasn't a back injury, because if it's a back injury, that's at least a month, maybe even a season. But they did say it was a groin injury. So, we can all take a sigh of relief. It's a groin injury. Yeah, Greg Olsen broke his foot too, man. Yeah, that's crazy. Tight ends, it's that, yeah. And I don't know. I'm trying to think. I don't know if 2 years ago, because we had a pretty bad injury 2 years ago, but that was because our offensive line was hurting. But this might be the worst injury bug we've had in the Brady Belichick era in terms of, position players going down with injuries. Because as you know, Edelman out for the year. Then we got Malcolm Mitchell, who starts on the IR. So now we only have 4 receivers last week. And Danny Amendola concussion. And then this week, you have Rob Gronkowski getting hurt. And then you have Dwayne Allen at the end of the game getting hurt. You have Hogan getting hurt. You even had Dorsett getting hurt. So by the end of this game, only 1 receiver and 1 tight end didn't get hurt at all. Like Brandon Cooks and Hollister are the only two players, skill position players, as wide receiver and tight end. And also, let me not forget, Burkhead has a rib injury, so he's hurt. So now, literally, out of all our skill positions, wide receiver, running back, tight end, we only have 4 people who are healthy. That's Brandon Cooks, Hollister, Gillislee, James White, Deion Lewis. I'm sorry, that's 5. Excuse me. Yeah, man. Yeah, that is true. I'd rather have the injuries now. That is a good way to. That's one way to look at it. I'd rather not have injuries at all. But if we're going to have it now, I take that, and then hopefully by the end of the year we can get healthy. Because pretty much in the NFL, when you get to that November, December part, that's kind of where if you get an injury, like Izzy said, you get an injury, that's kind of your season right there. Like your season is shot. So yeah, I agree with you. I'd rather get them injuries out now than later. But just still, man, it just sucks that we have to deal with all this flux and all this changes. But I'm still waiting on news of Gronkowski. Okay, so literally just now he talking to reporters, he said, "I'm good." Smile before he walking out, but you already know that's typical Patriot stuff. I don't believe that. I need something certified. He didn't want to. Okay, so he didn't talk after the game. He said he was going to talk tomorrow. He said, "I'm good," and gave us a thumbs up. So Gronk doesn't want to talk about the media. He doesn't want to talk about it because they already know what people's going to ask him about. Is he okay with injuries and everything? So we'll find out more about Gronkowski tomorrow, looks like. And when we do find out tomorrow, I'll probably have a video with that up going shortly. But let's talk about the defense. Defense didn't do pretty good. Madden curse. Okay, so the Madden curse gets changed every year because it's supposed to affect the person on the cover. I don't think it's really the Madden curse. I just think, we just are having bad luck as it is right now. I don't believe in that curse stuff and that Madden curse stuff. Like, I don't believe in it. So I just feel like we're just having a couple, bad luck plays. Just this happens to other teams, but it's because it's our team and we're the Patriots. It's like on a higher scale, if you know what I'm saying. So defense, we already knew this offense the Saints offense was going to come in here and it was going to, dot us up because they got Drew Brees and they also got Mark Ingram. They got Adrian Peterson, who some think is wise, So it's going to be kind of interesting to see how everything worked out. Now, if you look at the stat sheet, you see 356 yards, 2 TDs, but I'll pretty much say about 100 of those yards and that touchdown was, in garbage time, essentially. They was down by 21 points in the fourth quarter, just trying to come back in the game. You look at the Michael Thomas, 5 receptions, 89 yards. I think most of that was in garbage time in the fourth quarter when he was up by 21. So I'm not really too worried about that. You got Coleman, who had 4 receptions, 82 yards, who he had a good game. He had their first touchdown. He also made a big third down play to get that first touchdown. So, pretty much we wasn't going to let Michael Thomas beat us, which is the typical Belichick move. And Coleman, he did good the first couple games, first couple drives and everything. He got involved. But after that, nothing much he can do. Of course, you got Kamara, who beat it was Patrick Chung, who's not really a cover guy. He's more so of a tackler. He's all right. Chung is okay. He's on the downside of his career. So I'm not expecting much for him. But Kamara, who's faster than him, was able to get out there, get some gains. Fleener had that touchdown too late in the game. Pretty much looking at this, we knew I was expecting a shootout. I was expecting, 35, 30, 40 something, 30. I was expecting more of that. But, if defense, you look at these yards, you're like, wow, they aired it out. But again, like I always say, defense is bend but don't break. Giving up 20 points, that's pretty much good. There's a Chiefs phone. Wait, I'm gonna need you to reword that, Josh, because I was confused when you said that. But it's all good, man. It's all good, man. But yeah, I think Tom Brady just, did his thing. Chris Hogan updated him. He said he's fine. Pretty much all these Patriot players, we know how they're gonna work. They're just gonna say we're fine, it's nothing, but we never truly know. So yeah, that's pretty much it I can say on injuries right now. We don't have any, certified thing to go off of. But let's talk about how this team performed, though. So let's give out these grades. So start with the quarterback, Tom Brady. 30 completions on 39 attempts, 447 yards, and 3 touchdowns. No interceptions. Still has no picks this year. Got his first touchdown today. His first touchdowns of the season. And he even he had that 9-yard run. So I'm gonna give Tom Brady an A on this game, an A minus. Actually, I'm sorry, not an A minus. I'm just gonna give him a flat out A. Maybe if he would have hit Cooks on that touchdown that he should have had, maybe that's an A plus. But he missed a couple plays. He missed some key points. I like how he stayed in the pocket though. When that Gronkowski touchdown was able to have that defensive tackle holding on to his shoulder, and Brady just so calm in the pocket, just stayed there. And even on early in the game, he took a hit from Cameron Jordan. He knew he was coming to hit him. Well, on a third down, he saw James White going across the middle wide open, and he was able to take it. So Tom Brady, doing what ghosts do. So he gets an A, in my opinion, for that grade. Let me know your grades down below. Oh, wow, really? I'm going to have to check that out. I think I remember that game, too. I'm going to have to check that out. So, yeah, let me know your grades as I'm going through this, too. Tom Brady, I'm giving him an A. Now let's look at the running backs. We have Gillislee, 18 carries, 69 yards, and a touchdown. That touchdown, goal line touchdowns. You know how we do with our power backs. And most of those carries was at the end of the game trying to milk the clock. Dion Lewis, who didn't really get much carry, only 4 attempts for 14 yards, but he had that big 13-yard run. But besides that, didn't do anything in terms of the running game, pass game, only 1 reception, 11 yards. And then James White, 2 carries, 11 yards, but he had 8 catches for 85 yards. James White, who was playing the element role today, was in the slot. He was lining up in the slot and, run those quick out routes, those dig routes and everything. So I think maybe that's how we're going to try to make up the void with Edelman not being there, which is something I thought. So Dion Lewis did okay, I guess, in the time he was there. Gillislee, he did all right. But James White was a big factor. So I'm going to give this group a B. I'm just going to give them a B. Nothing too great. If I had to give James White a grade, I would give James White A minus. But everybody else, it's about a B plus average. They're pretty good. James White, again, being that Edelman role. And when you look at our numbers, you might say we don't have a lot of rushing yards, so how can you give them a B? They didn't do too good on the ground. But it's that receiving. And we know how we like to use our running backs because them in the receiving game, it's like us running the ball, essentially. So James White did his thing today. Now let's go on to the receivers. Only 3 of them was active. Brandon Cooks, in his return game, 2 receptions, 37 yards. Chris Hogan, 5 receptions, 78 yards, and a touchdown. He dropped one, and then I think either a play or 2 later, he got it back, and, he caught a touchdown. So he made up that drop. And then Philip Dorsett, 3 receptions, 68 yards, especially that big catch at the end of the in the fourth quarter to pretty much seal it, which led us to a field goal. So I'm gonna have to give them a B too. Not too much. Like a B. I'm gonna give them actually a B minus. It wasn't too impressive. Also forgot in the running backs too, Burkhead. So actually, scratch that. Because again, I forget we use our running backs like receivers. I'm gonna give our running backs a B plus because Burkhead did have 3 receptions, 41 yards, and a touchdown. So I'm gonna give the running backs a B plus. Giving the wide receivers a B. They did pretty good. Chris Hogan did his thing, had a couple drops. Brandon Cooks. I thought we was gonna. I'm glad we didn't force it to him, trying to make sure that we get that. Hey, shoot, more power to it. It's more Patriot football for us to watch if it's on YouTube. So, yes, I'm going to give the wide receivers a B. Hogan did his thing. Brandon Cooks, in a time he was able to get the ball, he did his thing. I don't think he was locked up. I just think, other people was open. You feel me? Like, we ain't forced it to him, and, we just did what the defense gave us. Tight ends. Only one tight end matters here. And that's Rob Gronkowski. 6 receptions, 116 yards, and a touchdown. That's an A-plus performance in my opinion. Dwayne Allen, they did good on the blocking as well. Jacob Hollister, he got himself a reception for 5 yards. So I can't be too mad at them. So again, Gronkowski, he looked like Gronk today. Besides that injury, though, which he said he's fine. He said he's good. He's going to talk to us tomorrow. But again, we don't know the severity of the injury. That just means that Gronkowski is back. I told you guys in the Patriot Keys, which I will again review after we go through these grades. So, again, I'm giving tight ends an A plus because really only tight end that really popped on the screen was Gronkowski. But Dwayne Allen, Hollister, Gronk, they did a thing in the running game and the passing game. So I'm not too mad at that. Old lineman, I'm giving them a C+. I'm giving them a C actually because the fact that Solder and Cannon, you guys are our best 2 offensive linemen, and y'all was getting destroyed today, especially Solder. Solder, I don't know what's happening. Last week he was bad. This week he was bad. I don't know what's going on with you, Solder, but I'm gonna need you to fix it. ASAP. No Rocky. But offensive lineman did a pretty decent job. Yeah, 2002. I don't know because we won in 2001, 03, and 04. So I don't think that was Super Bowl year. Yeah, I don't think that if that was from the 2002 season, I don't think that's Super Bowl year because Super Bowl year was 2001, 3, and 4. So yeah, that was a Super Bowl year. That was a Super Bowl year. But yeah, back to the talking about the offensive lineman. They did a pretty bad job. Oh, I'm not bad job. Solder did a bad job, but everybody else did okay, decent. So that's why they get a C, not a C plus. They gotta do better. Solder, I'm looking at you. We gotta do better. Anyways, defensive lineman, Dietrich Weiss, Trey Flowers getting after the quarterback. I like it. I like it. I like it. Now, I'm only going to give them a C plus just because I'm not going to read too much into it because the Saints, they didn't have Teron Armstead and they didn't have their other right tackle. So they was playing their backup. So they should have dominated. So I'm just taking that into effect. So Trey Flowers and Dietrich Weiss got after them. Alan Branch was benched the first quarter for what he did in practice. He was probably really trying hard, doing his thing. So I'm giving them excuse me, I'm giving them a C plus. They did okay, did their job. Next on, moving on, we got the linebacking core, and I'm giving the linebacking core a B minus. Calvin Noy had to step up in the role of being Dante Hightower, who did a pretty decent job. Who else was out there? Jordan Richards, who really didn't get much snap time on defense. He did good on special teams because he's kind of like a linebacker. And that's pretty much it for our linebackers. It was really Kyle Van Noy. I don't think David Harris played. That's pretty much it. Like I said, linebackers B minus. So essentially, Kyle Van Noy, he didn't do too bad of a job. So I'm giving him a B minus. We had a lot of defensive backs out there on defense today, like a nickel dime look. And as our secondary goes, they did give up a lot of yards and some touchdowns, but I'm going to give them a B. They did a pretty decent job. Chung was all over the field. McCourty making clutch tackles to prevent touchdowns. Malcolm Butler, he did okay. He didn't start, actually. Malcolm Butler didn't start until like later on in the first drive, and some people was freaking out, like, is he benched? What's going on? Did he not want to show us? Well, that's just because it was matchup reasons. And, eventually he got going and he was out there for most of the time. So I wasn't too worried. Yeah, like I said, 2002, that's when we missed the playoffs. I do remember that intro was lit, man. I like that old school CBS intro. I wish they were bring it back. So yeah, I wish they would bring it back. So, and the thing with Malcolm Butler, another reason why he didn't play, I don't know if he was, upset they didn't play, but I'm just reading some more stuff, and they're saying that, we had to it's a lot of issues with Malcolm Butler, so I'm gonna keep my eye on the Malcolm Butler situation. And Belichick saying we had headset issues the whole game. This is about to be a little mini rant, so prepare yourself. Remember how every time people come to New England, they say we have headset issues, we're automatically cheating? How come nobody's saying the same thing with us? How come, that's not happening? Yeah, man. I'm still here, by the way. I'm just tweeting something out. So, yeah, let's get back to what I was talking about. Like I said, secondary did pretty good. McCourty, Gilmore hasn't really popped up off the screen. I've seen him get beat a couple times, but he hasn't really done much to, show himself. Which, when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, if their cornerback isn't doing anything, like you don't hear their name, that typically means that they're doing a good job. Just because it means they're not getting beat all the time. You feel me? So Jonathan Jones, too, shout out to him. He had a big pass breakup on Ted Ginn that would have put the Saints down by 7, I believe, in the third quarter. So shout out to Jonathan Jones for getting the job done. And then special teams, punting, and it was okay. We didn't really punt. We only punted 3 times. One punt was good. The second one, he just, shot it up. It was a real short punt. The other one was okay. So I'm going to give Ryan Allen a B. Just didn't do anything. Gostkowski, he gets a B plus for me. He missed the first extra point, which I'm gonna say this again. Gotskowski, we're not doing this year. We're not about to do this. We're not about to do this year. We're not about to miss all these kicks. We're not about to miss these field goals. I'm not worried about the defense because we have a lot. Yeah, that's the thing too. So we have that's another people don't realize. We have a lot of new pieces on this team actually. Not even just the defense. So of course we have Patrick Chung, McCourty, and Hightower, and then we have Butler on the squad. But some of these guys, like Eric Rowe, who got hurt. He was there last year, but we got a lot of we need a pass. That really what our defense is. We don't really have a pass rush, and so it kind of exposes everything else. And plus, we're not that fast anyway, so speed kills, and they can beat us. Like I think our fastest person on defense is Malcolm Butler, and I'm not saying Malcolm Butler is slow, but he damn sure ain't fast. So it's kind of difficult to assess everything. So I think we just need to get more athletic on defense. Maybe like Landon Roberts did a pretty good job, but maybe get like some fast linebackers because you see the wave now with the Deion Jones, the Ryan Shaziers, the Anthony Barrs. You see the wave where people is getting more fast. Jadeveon Clowney's, they're getting fast linebackers that can not only rush the passer or tackle, they can also cover these running backs shot for shot because these running backs are getting faster because they have to catch out the backfield. So I just think we need to get up with the times and everything, but if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. So those are my grades for the positions. Now let's talk over the keys that I laid out to us before the game started. I said I wanted to watch Cooks, how he did. Again, we didn't force him the ball. He did have a false start at the end of the game, which was in garbage time. He had a holding call too in the fourth quarter, but he did a pretty good job. He would have had that touchdown, which would have made his day, a lot more, better. But it's all good, man. So Brandon Cooks, did he get involved? Yeah, we took, but it was kind of focusing on him. I think what Cooks is able to do is more than what you see on the stat sheet, where it's not all about him getting the ball and receiving. It's seeing how can he stretch the field, how can he make other players better in terms of they got to worry about the deep threat. They just can't worry about other players. So Brandon Cooks opens the field for Gronkowski up the middle, opens the field for James White to do his little thing, outside the numbers. Chris Hogan as well on the other side, and even Philip Dorsett. So Cooks did his job. Maybe some games he gets 100 yards, 80 yards. Some games like today, he only gets 30, 40 because he's a decoy. He did make a big catch, though, too. Went up and got it. It was in the bucket as well from Tom Brady. So Cooks, he did his job. Second thing, I said basically the third down battle. We're going to have to convert on third down for offense, and we're going to have to get the Saints off the field on third down. So offense, we were 6 of 12, 50%, pretty good in the NFL, on third down. So that means we was every other. So it seemed like every other third down, we were moving the change, which is pretty good, something like to see. And the Saints were 4 of 12, 33%. So that's okay, not too bad. We got to do better. Last week we was like 4 of 11, but it just seemed like towards the end they got more conversions, and they also got the splash plays. So we did a pretty good job making sure we got off the field on third down. Again, we bend but don't break, which is something I like to see. So again, that's a check for another one. And then lastly, I say Gronkowski, this is your time to shine. And we all know Gronkowski shined today. It was his game. Before he got injured, I'm really still trying to look at the snaps he had, because remember, I told y'all that I said he needs to be on a 40 snap count. I remember I told you guys this. And so I want to see how much he had. Tom Brady was 8 for 8 today when he went to James White. He caught everything. So it was pretty good. Dang. I just saw some injury news. Not related to us, thank God. But next Sunday, we back at home. We face the Houston Texans, which is going to be a good game. It's going to see what I think of NFL CBS intros now. I think they okay. I mean, I like the old ones better, but they all right. Not too bad, nothing to harp on. So that's pretty much it, I say. So quick update for injuries. Gronk, they say he's good. Gronk said he's good. Hogan said he'll be okay. So I'm probably going to have 2 video updates early in the week and then later in the week how this is going to work, because we just have so many injuries, and it is a lot to monitor. So, as always, Patriot news, all that stuff, be sure to follow your boy, subscribe, even follow me on Twitter. It's all in the description below. And if you're not a fan of the Patriots, go ahead and, well, another person we got to add to the list now, Stephon Gilmore. He's limping now. I just saw. They said he's limping now in the locker room. Eric Rowe said he was informed to switch, informed of the switch. Okay, so Eric Rowe was just, again, it was matchup reasons why Eric Rowe and Butler switched. But, so Stephon Gilmore's hurt now. Listen, I just want to tell y'all this. I'm ready to jump out this window head first, not even thinking, because I'm sick and tired of these injuries. Tired of it. I'm tired of these injuries, man. It's too much. Too much for me. That's going to be it for the video. Like, subscribe, comment, all that great stuff. And I'll catch you next time, y'all. Peace.